Hi, my beautiful, amazing queens. I am Lisette Serrano, back at it again with another Thirsty Thursday video. Today is gonna be a story time about the time that I dated a Taurus man. Way I never learned my lesson because I had dated a Taurus man prior to this. And, I thought, hey, don't read too much into astrology. Maybe he's different. Yeah, such a big mistake. If you're new here, make sure you follow me on my Instagram, Lisette Serrano. And you can follow me on TikTok, Lisetteserranoofficial, if you want to lose your hearing, because I'm very, very loud on there, okay? So buckle up, kiddos, all right? This happened last summer. Last summer, I was a part of this show I was doing with my friends, and we were just sort of writing music about NYU. We got to perform at Radio City, which is such a slay. And I had a crush on my friend, Evan. Love you, love you. He already knows this. And, me and Evan, I wanted to go to a party with him because,
I had ulterior motives.
So I was like, okay, let me go to this party, this Bad Bunny party with Evan and maybe give him a little smooch, whatever. And my friend was there and she had two of her friends, and then we all end up meeting together and we're like, And then there's this guy there that one of her friends was friends with. We're gonna call him Steven. Yeah, Steven's a pretty gross name. So Steven was there. Steven was friends with one of my friend's friends, and we're vibing, we're talking, and I'm telling my friend he's really cute, maybe I should try it with him. Bro, he literally looks like this. And when I saw him, I completely forgot about Evan. I was just I'm not gonna think, I'm just Steven's there, and Steven's so cute and yummy, and I want him. We're not going to talk about the fact that I literally had lipstick on my teeth for a bunch of that, but whatever. Me and Steven are talking and we're dancing together and Bad Bunny's playing, and then we're singing the lyrics to each other and we're vibing essentially. And he was really sweet, and he was just telling me, basic stuff, his favorite color. I was asking his sign. He told me he was a Taurus, and I literally was I don't know, there were weird synchronicities that we had with each other, because he was telling me that he was telling me that 8 was a very significant number for him, and he told me that his grandma died in August, and my grandma had died in August. So I was like, oh my god. And then he showed me something from his notes app that said he was gonna meet a Colombian. I'm Colombian. So it was just weird synchronicities that we had. I even had a feeling with him that I was just oh, this man is literally about to ruin my life. This man is literally about to ruin my life. I really liked him. He was so sweet, and we ended up seeing each other the next day to go out to eat. This man made me sell him for my food, which I was weirdo behavior, okay? But he was just sort of telling me that he's a relationship person. So I was oh my god, that is fabulous. A man that is a relationship person? What? So he's telling me about this, and he's just I
just don't know if I mentally can be in a relationship
right now. Red flag. Oh my gosh. I'm I don't get you. He kept talking about his ex. He was really sweet. I don't want to say he was the meanest, rudest person ever. He teased me a lot for whatever reason, but he was very cute and sweet. But that's not enough. You know what I mean? Telling me about his ex that he was in a 2.5-year relationship with, and they apparently just had ended things in February, so not a lot of time has passed. And I'm even if people will think that 7 months after a 2.5-year relationship is early enough to start dating, he's still talking about her, so clearly he's not over it. But I'm whatever, let me just not think about it too much. But we were really hitting things off the first few dates, but then he slowly started to breadcrumb me, so I was I'm not interested. The excuse was always just a
relationship is just not my priority right now. I'm just working on my career and my grad school or whatever. I'm just not thinking about girls like that or anything.
And I'm just okay, then why are you talking to me? That's my thing. I'm then what do you, why not end things now? So you want attention? Heard, got you. Went a whole day without texting me, and that was just sort of my last straw. The first time someone does that to you, that's when you like get out, unless like, you know, something happened or whatever. But like that was not the case in this scenario. He literally was just like, oh,
Totally sorry, I didn't have my phone on me.
he said he was gonna show up to one of the performances that I had for that show that I mentioned. The day of that show was the day, it happened to be the day that he like did not text me the entire day. So I was just like, this man knew my show was happening, and I like had told him and invited him like several times, and he literally decided to ghost me the day of my show. Why do you suck? Like, why are you like that? Literally, when I'm like getting ready and like doing my makeup for the show, he texts me and goes, sorry, I'll be there soon. Sorry? Like that's just a text message that says sorry? Girl, like please be so for real. I didn't even respond or engage. Like I was just like whatever. And I sort of was asking for a sign from the universe. I was just like, if this is meant to be, he's gonna show up with flowers and a big like I'm sorry thing. I'm like, if it's meant to be, like that'll be my sign from the universe to like give this guy a chance. That didn't happen. He ended up leaving my show early. He texted me and he goes,
Yeah, sorry, like I just had an assignment due at like midnight, so like I couldn't say.
that would have been fine had he not been breadcrumbing me, but you know, we have to think about everything, and like he did breadcrumb me. So I was just like, okay, this is like the last straw. So I ended up ending things with him. I texted him and I was just like, listen, like this was fun, but like I'm just not, I think I'm good or whatever. And then he was like, yeah, this was fun. And then I asked him like, did you want anything serious? And he said, I like did want this to work out, but it's just literally like I don't have time right now. And I was like, okay, like that's fair. Like I guess that's just like not, a relationship isn't his priority right now. Like he doesn't want a girlfriend, and like I have to respect that, you know what I mean? And like maybe we'll find each other again. And like I was just sort of like bye for now type stuff, because I'm like, you know, I feel like we just sort of, I don't know, I felt it in the moment. I like obviously have different thoughts about it now, but like at the time I was just like, I really feel like I could see myself with this guy. He said he didn't want a relationship.
Fast forward to a month later.
Halloween weekend, and I look at his story,
And what do I see? What do I see on this man's story?
him, a girl next to him holding his arm, a little Bad Bunny heart in the corner, because that was this man's entire personality, 2 jerseys, one that had hers that said Lola and his that said Bugs. So they're literally dressed as Lola and Bugs Bunny for Halloween. Let's think about the time that it takes to plan a costume, shipping for those costumes, all the planning that goes into that, the party that you're gonna go to and everything, and you posting her. Girl, this man, just like, didn't you say all this stuff about you not wanting a relationship? But I'm like, you know what, maybe that's not his girlfriend. Me being delusional. One weird thing about him was that for these dates, and even when we had like a little Zoom date, like he just always had a black shirt and chain. That was just like the only outfit that he had, when I was just like, I guess he's feeling himself, like weirdo, I don't know. Halloween weekend passed, and then it was like the next weekend, and I was like, I want an outing. And every time I would try to make plans with him, he would just be like, oh, like I'm busy with school. And I'd be like, I get it. Like he is just like, does not want a relationship to be a priority for him. I go to the bar and who pulls up through the door in a black shirt and a chain? And then who comes in a few moments after? The girl in the Lola Bunny costume on his story pulls up to the club. So I'm like, him and this girl, they're like dancing and they have their whole friend group there, and I'm like, throwback to when you said you didn't want to meet any of my friends and that I was too early and all this stuff and like whatever else you lied about. And literally they're like dancing, and he's like sort of dancing with his friends or whatever, and I'm just like, why I didn't go home, I don't know. I guess I was just so hurt. So my thought process was like, oh, I'm gonna make him jealous. Like I said, was not in a good mental state at the time. So I was like, I'm just gonna like twerk with a bunch of guys and just like make him look my way. It was really vulnerable. Being Matty Perez, he's just sort of like looking at me, and like I tapped on him, and this man literally gave me the most evil smirk in the world. And I was like, would like occasionally look at me while he was with the other girl, and we were just sort of like looking and not talking, and I was just like, you literally suck so much. Oh my god. I end up leaving the bar right when he left because he left with her, and I was just like, okay, so this man literally either ditched me for someone else or met her shortly after. Regardless, I'm like, you could have just been honest with me and said you did not like me that much. Like, I don't know, people sometimes are so like sensitive and like don't want to hear stuff like that, but I'm like, I would prefer that than you lying, because then I have false hope. I started to get better. I started like working on social media and getting like monetized for like different projects and everything, and like life was going well. And then Valentine's Day came along and I decided to get snoopy. I ended up finding the girl's Spotify. I found her Instagram, and then I see like the recent comments from it, and it was just a comment from him that was like, beautiful as always. And I was like, oh, so you literally got a girlfriend right after we ended things. Like, what? And a Taurus man has done this to me already. That's a whole other story that I kind of don't remember, if I'm being completely honest, because it's been like 3 years. But I was just like, there's no way in hell this happened to me again. On Valentine's Day, I saw on her story, and it was just like, cheers to like more adventures and more memories. And it was a picture of him in a black shirt, of course. And I'm just like, bruh, you are literally a liar and I hate you. It was the lying part that really got me. Like, I talked to so much to my therapist about this situation. Like, I was just like, he just like lied. Why did you lie? You don't have to do that. I'm a big girl. I saw that and I was like, I think this is just like another sign that I have to move on and like put in the work and just work on myself, and that he's irrelevant and not important. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Fast forward to a month later. I end up going to that bar that I saw him at, because that bar, like, I like going there. It's like reggaeton, it's like my vibe essentially. And you know, the men there suck, that's the only problem, but I love going to that place. It's called Yucca. Hanging out with my friends because we got food there prior, because it's like a restaurant bar, and if you eat there you don't have to pay a cover. So I'm like, okay, slay. So we're there, we're vibing.
Who do I see out the window?
Steven and his girlfriend. I was like, how are you always here? How are you always here? So I see him in like outside, because he was like in the line to get in, which I was like, that's so embarrassing. But I see him there and I'm just like, I just feel so much anxiety, because I'm like, when someone was so special to you and then literally they do all this and you see them in person, I'm like, I cannot do this right now. Oh my god. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna continue to have fun. I'm like hanging with my friends. I'm like, it's not about him. I'm like, don't even think about him. We're not gonna pull last time. I'm in a better spot this time around, where I'm like, I don't care about him. I'm not gonna try to make you jealous or whatever. You're irrelevant. You got written off the show. We're good. I'm dancing and vibing with my friends, and like, you know, some time passes and I just feel like tapping on my shoulder. And usually when I feel tapping on my shoulder at a bar, I'm like, I'm not gonna turn around, because it's probably just some dude trying to flirt with me, and like, I just don't like men. Tapping gets annoying, so I'm like, I'm gonna turn around and tell whoever's tapping on me to stop. I turn around, and who is it? His girlfriend is right next to him, mind you. So Steven taps on me, I look at him, and then he goes, Leslie, right?
Leslie, right? Leslie, right?
Leslie.
I literally looked him dead in his eye. I said, that is not my name. And then he goes, oh, really? It's not? In the most malicious way ever. And I was just like, no, it's not. And at this point, I'm just like, bro, I like don't want to deal with this. I was literally forgetting you were here, and then you just like killed the vibe. God, I hate men.
Oh my god.
He is just like, oh, and I'm like, what? Because I'm just thinking at this point, like, what do you want now? I cried so much about you. You lied to me. You were manipulative and you were terrible. And now, like, you want what? To kick me some more because everything you did wasn't enough? Like, I'm just like, what do you want at this point? And then he goes, nothing. And then his girlfriend asks what's going on. Oh, the way I wanted to tell this girl what was going on. I wanted to tell her so badly. I don't know why I didn't, but I was just like, I don't want to get involved in a relationship that I do not know. I don't want problems. I don't want drama. Like, I'm literally like, I just don't want to be thinking about this man anymore, and I just want him to leave. Like, I was just, that's where I was at, y'all. Like, I'm like, you hurt me so badly. I don't want to think about you anymore. I don't want to be in the same room as you. Like, I just want to get to a point where I'm indifferent about how I feel about you, and you're making it hard by constantly showing up here. The girlfriend says that, and then he looks at her, he's like, oh no, nothing. What a dick move. Like, I look back at that and I'm like, I'm so glad this didn't work out, honestly, because you're the type of guy to talk to girls that you have literally had intimate moments with while your girlfriend's right next to you. That's like weirdo shit. Like, I don't know. Oh my god. I was like, demonios. It's giving demonios. I end up dancing. This man, you know when you feel someone staring at you, he was staring at me and my friends literally the entire rest of the time that he was there. And I was like, I cannot fucking do this. So my friends all end up like leaving, because at this point it's sort of getting late. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna leave too. So then me and my friend like go outside just like to get some air, because it can get pretty hot in there. And while we're outside,
Steven is literally there.
because his girlfriend, I think, like, I saw, because I was paying attention, I think she like called her lift home, and he's just like waiting outside. The girlfriend is like no longer there, and then I don't know, I'm outside and he's just looking at me like this. And what does this man proceed to do? He goes back in the bar without his girlfriend. Why does the night not end with your girlfriend? Like, I'm like, whatever. I don't want to know about it. I don't know. I don't want to think too much about it. It's not my business, not my monkey, not my circus. You know what I mean? Me and my friend, I'm just like telling him everything, because he knew about this situation, and he was like, wait, that's Steven? Because I talked about Steven with him. And then I was like, yes. And he was like, I thought that was some random dude. I was like, no, this is literally like the guy that broke my heart. Like, I was like, he sucks, bro. Oh my gosh. And then literally he's like, oh damn, like he was like looking at us all night. I was noticing, like, I thought he was like trying to get with you or something. I'm like, bro, like I just want him out, you know what I mean? Night ends and it's spring break, so I was very much in my I'ma go out on the weekends type of vibe. And I wanted to go out the weekend after, because I had Coachella very soon and I really didn't want to get sick for that. So I pull up to Yuka again. I know y'all are thinking like, girl, if he knew he's gonna show up. And I'm like, okay, like at the time part of me wanted him to see how good I looked. Okay, don't act all innocent. Y'all have done the same thing too. Okay, don't be so self-righteous. Like, I'm not there anymore. I don't know if I would ever go to that place again, to be honest. I pull up this weekend after, I walk in and Steven is right there, front and freaking center, in a black shirt and chain. This is the only outfit that I've ever seen this man in. And Steven's friend, I forgot to mention, he was at the party that I met Steven at for the first night. That night we were dancing together and just like vibing and having a fun time. He was there at the bar on this day. And I noticed that and I was just like, oh, that's the dude. Like, I remember meeting you. But whatever. I end up just like going, and just like me and my one friend, we're just dancing. Guys are obviously being very annoying and terrible and just disgusting. So we're dancing, and then I see Steven's friend come up to me. And we had met that night and we were like talking, not like romantically or anything, obviously, but like, you know, it was just like, this is like a guy that I'm talking to, and like this is his friend, so might as well like be nice to him too. He comes up to me, he asks me for my name, and I'm like, I'm Lisette. And this just shows like how much that I did not mean to this man at all, because like he didn't even remember me. And I don't know, I feel like my name is like, you don't meet many Lisettes. Like, he would have remembered if this man was talking about me. So I was just like, oh, okay. So I literally meant nothing. I'm talking to his friend and I'm like, let me have some fun tonight. Don't do it, Lisette. Don't do it, Lisette. I'm sorry, y'all. I ended up dancing with this friend all night. I'm sorry. I had to be a little messy. And I was just like looking at Steven, because I'm just like, it's different when I'm dancing with random dudes, but this is your bestie. Like, he was telling me about him and I was like, I'm sorry, I was being toxic that night, okay? Like, I had like a couple of shots, like, don't be rude to me, I'm sorry. He was cool. Steven's friend was like really nice. He was just like 5'4", and I'm like, do not date men that are shorter than 6 feet. We're literally like vibing and just like dancing and everything, and like Steven is just like here and Steven's girlfriend isn't, and I'm like, that's so unusual and strange. But not my monkey, not my circus. I'm trying not to pay any attention to, like, what do I know? We end up staying till closing, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna go home with this man. I didn't even kiss him. Like, I literally just like wanted to make the dude jealous, and also the guy was nice, so I'm like, I just want to dance with you. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I'd ever, I don't think so. And I'm like, oh, like, but I like did want attention at the time, because like that's just like the mental state that I sort of was at. Obviously, like, I'm out of there, thankfully. Now I don't really care about it, but at the time I was like, I wanted this man to see how hot and sexy I am or whatever. I end up leaving, and like his friend said that he was gonna meet me outside, so I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, I like waited outside for like 2 minutes, and then I opened the door, and then me and Steven make eye contact. Steven literally walked away. Mind you, the bar is closed, so everyone has to get out. And he just didn't. He just stayed in there. And I'm just like, am I scaring you this much that you can't even be in a room with me? Like, weirdo. Honestly, if he was not best friends with the man that broke my heart, I probably would be fine. Because, like, I don't know, he was really sweet. And, like, I guess I can see beyond him being short. Because like I don't know, he was a really nice guy, and like, you know, he was like offering to like pay for stuff and everything, and like he wasn't being so stingy. Steven was always stingy, and I hated that. Part of me was like, what does it say about you that your friend is an asshole? You know what I mean? Because it's like, I think now we can realize that he's not that great of a person, especially with like the whole Leslie incident. It's like, if you think you recognize someone that you were intimate with and you have a girlfriend, that's like such weirdo behavior to talk to them with your girlfriend right there. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. That just, it rubbed me the wrong way. And like, what a dick move. And then to stare at me all night. Like, he just was dishonest. Like, what does it say about you that you're best friends with someone like that? Like, after that, I wasn't really thinking about him. I was just like focused on healing myself, and just like I would go back to those nights mentally, and I'd be like, why did I need this person so desperately? Why did I work so hard to get him to look at me? Like, what do I need to heal within myself? And you know, y'all know, like, I'm a very, especially if you've been with me like on TikTok for a while, I like am very intuitive and just like focusing on myself and like knowing emotional regulation. So I was just like, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to heal myself and understand myself a little better. Fast forward to our senior formal that we had, because I was a senior at the time at NYU, and I see him again with his girlfriend, and you know, I'm just like, he surprisingly didn't have a black shirt, but then again, it was a button up, so who knows what was underneath that shirt. I saw him, and like, at first I was just kind of whatever about it, but then as the night progressed, I like ended up going upstairs and like crying crying about it to my friend, and just, you know, I told her, I was just like, you know, he like lied to me and like said all this stuff about not wanting a girlfriend, and then here he is with this girl, and like he's been seeing her since we ended things. And like, I don't know, I was just really, it was really sad at the time. Then our like Latin grad thing happened, and I ended up seeing him there too with the girlfriend again, and I was like, this man is literally like such a jerk. And I don't know, I think at that point I was sort of just trying to be done with this, and I told myself, I was like, you're graduating, like this is just gonna be, at some point it's gonna feel just like some guy that you spoke to in college, and like that's it, and like he can go about his life and do whatever, and it's beautiful that you felt something like that, but if he didn't reciprocate it, like, be repulsed by that behavior, who cares? So I saw him there, and bro, what really got me to get over this dude, what really got me to get over this man was the professional pictures that came after that. Bro, this man is butt ugly. He is not attractive at all. I don't know why I thought he was the cutest man that I've ever seen in my life. Like, I look at it, I'm just like, girl, I was blind. Like, it really was giving SZA blind. Like, he for real looks like this. Like, oh my god, yo. That was the time that I dated a Taurus. Man, the worst decision ever, bitch. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you like understand and like you're sort of going through the same thing, I promise you, you will get over it eventually. Everyone says it gets better, but it only gets better if you allow it to get better. And if you put your pain into something useful and productive, okay? So thank you so much, my amazing angels, for watching this video. If you are not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed with those notifications. You already know. And yeah, I'm gonna see you guys next Thursday with a new video. So I'll see you. Mwah. I love you.